video games. Mega Man Battle Network 2 is complete horseshit. I can't remember the last time a game wasted my time with such brazen abandon. Like, oh yeah, no, you have to run over here with a random battle every 15, maybe 10 seconds. Then the guy you speak to is like, yeah, so actually you need to go and speak to the first guy. So you go back to the first guy and it takes like 5 minutes, sure, but it's these winding, samey roads and 10 more random battles and you just run from them because for Christ's sake, you know? And then you get to the guy and the next piece of the puzzle is back where you came from, buddy, but, you know, a little bit deeper. And it's so confusing too because as mentioned, the maps look like this. And that's just the net areas. You also have to go around the overworld, and it's just it never seems to end. As the game goes on, the missions get increasingly convoluted in terms of the steps. There's a mission near the end of the game that goes on for 3 hours, and all it is just running between these two same areas pretty much, and you've been to them all before, and the clues for what to do are basically just, I mean, there's a hint button, but when you press it, it's just this kid lamb with his face, and his hint is just, Mega Man, we need to do a thing, and you're all, well, that's the hint? Mega Man, something's up here, there's something's going down, and that's all you get. And you could be like, no problem, I'll just commit to the NPC who issued the task to memory. But all the NPCs look the same. Like all the net areas and everything else. The storyline and dialogue are blaring nonsense, it's absolutely baffling, it's the most ludicrous childish drivel, and then suddenly you're in a foreign country getting robbed and exploring the ghetto. I'm not even joking, they start talking about being oppressed minorities, and I'm like, sorry mate, what was that? I thought I was playing a game for children. Oh, a plane hijacking. When did this game come out again? 3 months after 9/11. Yeah, okay. And of course I played it for 13, 14 hours, because I'll be damned if I'm going to get this far, only to give up. So I finished it. I slogged through the final mission, which by the way was no challenge, it was just long. There was no gameplay really, just running back and forth for ages. And then I thought, well, this must be absolutely slated, so I looked online, and there are all these positive reviews, all praising the game's systems, the battle system, which is interesting and unique. It is, it's definitely good. And you have this sort of almost card game thing going on. There's a deck building element, the cards can be mixed. Well, it's legit, you know. I have no issues with the battle system, but the skeleton it's built around is trash. The actual RPG, the exploration, the adventure here is appalling, and I don't understand people who say otherwise. Obviously their opinion's theirs, I'm not trying to detract from that, but it's like, you know how you have some things that you just don't understand contrary opinions of? Like for me, Battle Network 2 is great, is up there with, say, oh, the Mega Drive Sonics are all bad, in terms of sending me into raving incredulousness. So we have this ludicrous storyline mixed with a really deep, complex card game system. I understand when a single mechanic or system or metagame is compulsive enough to push you through utter banality. After all, Pokemon is very popular. But Battle Network 2 just seemed like a step too far. You don't know frustration, tedium, until you've tried to remember how you're supposed to get from Den Area to Koto Square, and oh, it's absolute bollocks! Anyway, on to Battle Network 3, I suppose. Mega Man The Power Fighters is an extremely unusual arcade game, as while coin-ops are no stranger to one-on-one combat games, they never really use shooting mechanics wholesale like this one. It takes its visual style from Mega Man 7, which is why Mega Man looks like some sort of weird troll, and it has you face off against a number of opponents from the classic NES games. You can play as Mega Man, Proto Man, Bass, or Duo from the then upcoming Mega Man 8, and you basically have all your moves from the Nintendo titles. It's intuitive to control, and for an arcade game designed to suck your 20p's, it's surprisingly easy to complete. I can comfortably clear it with 1 credit, 2 at a stretch. It's all the more enjoyable to play for being so reasonable in its difficulty. It's a colourful and creative experience throughout, with even veterans of the boss fights on offer sure to be pleasantly surprised by their old favourites' new attacks and tactics, and with 3 paths through each game it should hold up for a good number of replays. Surprisingly enough, at the end of the game there's a direct tie-in to the Mega Man X series that set series message boards a chatter for a good 2 decades, and obviously absolutely nothing came of it besides some vagaries in Mega Man X4 and X5. But to be perfectly honest, if you care about the plot in the Mega Man series, you're obviously some kind of prick. Mega Man is one of the most widely discussed series in video gaming history, so I thought for this episode's list of 5 things I'd try to pick some of the games that you just might not have got around to playing.
And 1.
Rockman EXE WS was a janky little mess released exclusively for the WonderSwan Color in Japan, and it plays like shit. However, it is a Mega Man Battle Network platformer that feels a little like Mega Man Zero, and consequently it's interesting enough to appear on this list. The graphics look squashed, the animation is bizarre, and the whole thing just feels off somehow. The controls are weird, but that's more of a WonderSwan hardware thing and not so much a game thing. I don't know, it's okay. It's worth a try just to see how wrong third-party Mega Man games can be. No official Western release, but there's a fan translation.
2.
Mega Man Battle Chip Challenge is yet another Battle Network game, but this one's actually kind of interesting. The reviews at the time are basically, what is this, how is this a game? Because all you do is assign your deck, then basically watch the battles play out without any input. Now for a lot of people this is obviously appalling, but I quite liked it. I found it therapeutic. It's a bit like I imagine playing Football Manager is. You can strategize before a game all you want, but ultimately it comes down to the systems. So yeah, this is a nice game to play if you just want to press A repeatedly, not really make any real decisions, and pretend like you were responsible when you win. And the music's sweet too. I think it's on the Wii U eShop, but I'm not checking.
3?
Mega Man Powered Up is a sugary sweet experience, essentially a remake of Mega Man 1, but gussied up in every possible way, including 2 new Robot Masters in Time Man and Racial Stereotype Man, as well as a fully featured level editor and plenty of free downloadable content. You can also play as any of the bosses and also tackle the gamer's role, Mega Man's until now helpless female counterpart. It will be a huge step up for progressive video games, but she attacks enemies with a broom, because, I mean, of course she does, because women are defined by cleaning, obviously. Nice going, Japan.
4.
You might not think Cannon Spike is really a Mega Man game, but if you press left on the select screen he shows up as a secret character. It's a pretty fun thing to play if short, like a twin-stick shooter, but with only one stick because it's on the Dreamcast. A Dreamcast game with inadequate controls? Who could ever have conceived of such a thing? Sarcasm aside, yeah, it's worth a play even though you can beat the whole thing in about 20 minutes. It's an interesting curio.
5.
Mega Man 5, that's in Roman numerals like V, Mega Man V, is an extremely good little title for Nintendo's classic brick Game Boy. The 4 previous games for the Game Boy were remixed versions of their NES counterparts, more or less, but V is all original, with boss battles breaking from the blank man Robot Master format and being named after celestial bodies such as Pluto, Jupiter, Venus, and 2005 UQ513. The thing that really fascinates me about this Game Boy Mega Man game is just how much gameplay they cram into these tiny spaces, like tiny little puzzle boxes, intricate and clever. Tons of gameplay here in a winky little cartridge, highly recommended. It's actually available on the 3DS eShop as well. No, I'm not doing Stu and the Chimp anymore. You can just do the Chimp. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't like the Chimp. He's trying to ruin my life. Look at him. He's thinking. I don't even know what he's thinking about. I don't know. He's probably trying. He probably wants to fuck me in the arsehole or something. I don't want that. I don't want a Chimp to fuck me. Okay. I don't know. Maybe there's not even plan. I don't want to do Stu and the Chimp. I'm not doing the Chimp.
We need the Chimp, Gipp. Chimp's tracking well. Kids love the Chimp, right, kid?
I love the Chimp.
See? Kids love the Chimp.
I don't care if kids love the chimp. I don't care if you love the chimp, kid. Okay, sorry, I don't care. I'm not working with the chimp. I don't love the chimp. It's my show. You know what? No, you're fired. You're fired, chimp. You're fired. Aztec Falcon, the first boss you face in the original Mega Man Zero, is a statement, and that statement is, you're getting your shit pushed in. Sorry, that was crass. Anyway, he's great. You've faced a sort of scripted mini-boss before this point, but this is the real deal. Buster shots pretty much just bounce off him. You're unlikely to have access to any charged attacks at this point, unless you already know to grind. He moves like lightning, his attacks climb the walls, so they're not safe. Saber combos are more or less useless. Oh, and you're on a timer. Good morning, this is your wake-up call. You bang your head against him for ages, or you go back and grind, or whatever you need to do. He's a great example of that sort of Dark Souls style, where you're conquering him feels like a real achievement. Aztec Falcon is a classic boss fight as far as I'm concerned, and a series absolutely full of them. Welcome back to Video World Mega Man Battle Network. Mega Man Network transmission for the Nintendo GameCube takes the gameplay of the handheld series of RPGs, as eulogised by me earlier, and translates it into a really, really hard side-scrolling Mega Man game. At least, it starts off really hard. The difficulty is front-loaded. As you play through and level yourself up, getting better battleships, it gets easier and more fun. It's got great music, and I'm quite fond of the graphics, though I can see why they might not appeal to everyone. It's really close to the original NES games in its level design, deliberately going for a throwback feel. It's quite lengthy, there's a lot to do and plenty of secrets, and the whole thing is just generally pretty slick. This game got slated while Battle Network 2 didn't, which makes me feel as though I might be an insane person. Mega Man X8 is a terribly underrated game, which means I like it, and the prevailing sentiment among the gaming community is that it killed their puppy. I don't know. If you played X6 and X7, X8 should be like a hot fudge sundae compared to the hot maggot cum sundae you've just endured. But even if you haven't played those, X8's a good time. In terms of the boss battles, they seem to take inspiration from Mega Man Zero. The whole game feels a lot like the Zero games, but with bells on. There are lots of hidden secrets in this title, far more than even its predecessors, and a focus on collecting metals that you can then spend on permanent or temporary upgrades for one of your characters. You can be X, Zero, or Axel, another product of the Mega Man X staff's seeming obsession with Guns N' Roses. They all have different and worthwhile skills to offer, and you'll need all three to visit the stages repeatedly to 100% clear each of them. This is a source of contention for some people, and normally I would be among them, as I truly don't like replaying stages as a rule, but in X8 the replays can be enjoyable as you take your tooled up Maverick Hunter into a stage that gave you trouble before and absolutely take it apart. There are a couple of weak vehicle stages, but for me, this wasn't enough to bring the game down. It's challenging but not unfair, and the final bosses, which I won't spoil, were absolutely awesome. It feels like a polished quality package in a way that no game in the series since hell the Super Nintendo has managed. Plenty to see and do, lots of unlockables, a real diamond in the very, very rough that is the Mega Man X series. I mean, it had been a long time with nothing major, just some Virtual Console re-releases of questionable quality, and, you know, it's nice that they'd bothered with the more obscure games, but nothing much going on with Mega Man. then they announce something, and it's old, it's a retro collection, it's Mega Man Legacy Collection, and, great. Capcom remembers that Mega Man exists. And it's a physical product and digital. It's on the modern consoles, it's on PC for the first time, it's on 3DS so you can take it out with you, and it's just $15. And that was exciting, but the fans were like, no, this isn't enough. It's Mega Man 1 through 6 on NES, we've played those, we don't want those. That already got collected, and it had Mega Man 7 and 8 too, with the arcade games. Mega Man Legacy Collection, what are you trying to pull? And I'm thinking, you wanted Mega Man, you got Mega Man. And there were lots of little challenge missions and a museum, a gallery of super high-res scans of all of the concept art, but no, it wasn't enough for the gamers. Why not stick 8, 9, 10 on there? Why not the X series as well, the 0 series? It's not like it can't fit on the disc, it's a ROM dump. These were collected 11 years ago on dead hardware. Why should I buy these games when I can download them illegally for free? When I can play them illegally in the browser? $15 for 6 critically acclaimed beloved games, complete with copious supplementary material. Cash grab. And then it comes out, and there's maybe some slight sound glitches. So you get, don't support these devs. Vote with your wallet. And they patch the sound glitch, but it's too late then. The first impression has already been made. The gamers have spoken, and these slight porting issues kill it. Like, that's that. Mega Man Legacy Collection sucks. And so, nothing since then. No Mega Man. Because there is no way to win, so goodbye, Mega Man. May you find everlasting peace in death. Merry Christmas.
Video world. Now it's time for Christmas time in video world. It's Stuart Gipp, that's me. I'm in video world.